There's 100 billion rainbows in a little beam of light. All the possibility, all the possibility. There's 100 billion atoms in a little grain of sand. All the possibility, all that possibility. Now, brothers, we've got time. And sister, turn the water to wine. And do you see all that possibility in your heart and in your mind? Just seek and you will find. There's 100 billion blossoms in a little apple seed. Well, all the possibility, all that possibility. There's 100 billion planets in a little galaxy. And all the possibility, all that possibility. Now, brothers, we've got time. Our sister, turn the water to wine. And do you see all that possibility? Your intuition is the key. Just ask and you'll receive. Brothers, we've got time. Ooh, sister, turn the water to wine. Ooh. And do you see all that possibility? Your intuition is the key. Just ask and you receive. Billion stories in a little day on earth. And all that possibility, all the possibility. There's 100 billion saviors in a little tiny birth. All the possibility, all that possibility, all that possibility. All that possibility, all the possibility, all that possibility.
So there was a beautiful black baby boy born quite some time ago. All the possibility. He could have come and gone and been unknown to each of us. But his teaching transcends religion. It's on a calendar that makes its way into schools, that makes its way into homes, that makes its way into government, that makes its way into any religion. Martin Luther King. His message, his teachings, and his power are with us. And through his death, though it seems that he is the fallen king, he was actually the risen king, right? He expanded in his transcendence, he expanded in his freedom form. Now, you may not notice this, but I don't usually speak on Martin Luther King Sunday. And we had a guest speaker planned for this Sunday who we had to reschedule because of the possibility of this next crazy snowstorm, ice storm that was supposed to be worse than the last one. So he will still be here with us on the first Sunday in February, and we're really grateful to him for coming, and we're really grateful also to be able to keep him safe when he was driving in, and we didn't know what this Sunday would look like. But one of the underlying reasons that I often don't speak on this Sunday is because, one, it's a great opportunity to have someone here, to have a powerhouse here sharing this message on this day. But the second possible reason is because it's quite intimidating. To be able to truly give this weekend, give this man what matches his power and what expands our receptivity of it is daunting and intimidating. I saw someone post something recently about politics and how we're going to see a bunch of people coming into the running, of saying, I will step forward. And many of you have probably considered this, and some of our online folks considered stepping forward. And a lot of people, when they look at stepping forward, they go, forget it. That's not for people like me. A lot of people might shy away from that. And this post was encouraging people to step back and receive. Beyond political lines, beyond your own hopes or desires of what's going on, but to create a space, an openness, a listening, rather than what generally tends to happen, which is an immediate bashing, right? Which is immediate criticisms, which is an immediate download of everything that would make most sane people run away. Martin Luther King had plenty of that, didn't he? He had plenty of engagements of words, of energy thrown at him that would make most of us cower in a corner. That would make most of us too afraid to even go out. Certainly too afraid to take that God-given message, to take that knowing, that calling, and to circulate it, to generate it, to express it, to give it. A lot of people think in spiritual communities, everything is nice, everyone's nice, everything goes well, everything's sweet. And we know in politics, that's why sometimes some people, some nice people, it's like, well, I wouldn't do that because, if you're too kind or you're too nice or you're too conscious, like, why would you want to get yourself involved in that? And some people think, in spiritual community, like, oh, only nice stuff happens. Surprise! Though many of our leaders can stand in their power, in their center, in the face of those criticisms, to so many of us, it can tear us down, can't it? I find myself even, when I hear different things, sometimes it can be exhausting. Sometimes it can be like, oh, is this really where we are? She talks like this, she wears this, she does this, it's like this, and when she does this, it's like this, and she changed that, and if she changes that, I'm leaving, and if this happens, that's going to happen, if that's going to happen, then that's going to happen, and forget it, I'm out, forget it, that person said that once, if that person said that once, I'm leaving the community, because that must be how everyone feels, and if everyone talks to me like that, everyone must be thinking that, and this person said that, and I don't want to go back there anymore because this, and if they do that, then I'll stay, and if they don't do that, then I'll go, and then, oh, but that one closed, and that one closed, and maybe we're closing, and this is happening, and that's happening, and It's exhausting, right? And it also can be terrifying. And if you sit there in the moment of getting whatever you get and translate to this into your life in the moment, right? Translate it to what it is for you right now. But if you get caught in that in the moment, what do you start doing? I'll change for you. We'll change for you. I'll change for you, and then you'll hit me. I'll change for you, and then you'll spank me. I'll change for you, and then you'll slap me. I'll change for you, and then I'll slap myself. So what do you do? Do you become impervious to feedback? There's a difference between listening, and there's a difference between feedback and growth and the transformation practice and being in your true power and having one spiritual authority. And standing in your center in that spiritual authority and taking everything, as Charles Fillmore would say, to headquarters. Taking everything to headquarters. And recognizing that we all in this human condition have a little mind and we have an awakened mind, an enlightened mind. Those are possibilities, and we do oscillate between them, don't we, in the human condition? What one of us has said something that we would be horrified if we knew someone heard? Like, seriously, if some of the movies are right and we do a life review thing, and we could see the energetic impact. Or if, like, when you're on a lake, when you're on a lake, a lot of times you're on the boat and you think, oh, no one can hear us because we're so far away from everyone. We're on the boat, and we're just out here on the boat having a little cocktail. But what happens when you're on water? Right to the porch of your neighbor, right to the porch of your friend, right to the porch of everyone who knows you're a unity minister. And what are we made of, friends, mostly? Water. How we show up makes a difference. What we hold in consciousness, what we say, what we share makes a difference. This world, this human experience can be a harsh enough thing, can't it? Without us being harsh with each other. But what makes the difference? I've been contemplating some of these things with some parents that I know that have been going through things with bullying with their children, with looking at our youth program, our spirit school here, and also in my own life, and thinking about how we can build up true power within our young ones. And truth be told, there is a young one still existent having temper tantrums or feeling hurt within each one of us, no? So how can we do that? Because as a parent, you can go to school and complain to the school that the kids aren't treating your child appropriately, right? And believe me, things have changed from when I was in school. When I was in school, people could take my little boyfriend at the time, who was about my same height. And when the older boys were coming through the hallway, They could, in order to humiliate him in front of the girls they were with, they could pin him up against the wall, lifting him so that his feet were just off the ground and his face was bright red. And of course, what would be more humiliating than your girlfriend who knows how to embody her anger, going, "You get your hands off," and ripping them off. And pretty much, hopefully, making sure they never did that kind of thing again. Probably wasn't the best thing for him that I did that, but whatever. When I was growing up, you could do that in school. Probably no one even told anyone, right? These days, there is a big response and a big reaction, but guess what, folks? We can't control each other, can we? We can't control each other, and we can't control the environment that our children grow up in, and we can't control the environment that we walk into, whether it's in politics or whether it's in church or whether it's on Twitter or Facebook or whether it's in our own, in our own being. Can we control that one? That one we can show up for. That's one where we can make a difference. That's one where we can have an impact. And in fact, that's the only one we can. So when I've been sitting with these questions and sitting with some parents that have been having a really rough time, I have thought to myself, how can we protect their children? I remember seeing a gorgeous post by this young African-American boy. He couldn't have been older than 10. And somehow he was sharing some stuff online and people were just ratting back at him. And he was just so confident. And he was just so in his peace and in his center. He was like a 90-year-old man just giving a lesson. Just talking about how ineffective that way of showing up is and how it reflects on them. If we can build up the inner reservoir of true power, an inner reservoir of strength, then we can show up on purpose for the moments in our lives. Last Sunday, we talked about being time poor and making moments matter. Well, we weren't here, so you might not have talked about it. We were closed because of a snow day, so we popped on Facebook online, and you can check that out if you'd like to. It's very at home, because it was at home. But we talked about being time poor, what we do with our time. This Sunday is about alignment with our inner world and our outer world. It's about our actions. Because moments matter, and how we show up for them matters. And if we are torn down inside, how are we going to ever demonstrate the possibility that was born in each of us? There's a quote that's often attributed to multiple people, so we'll call it anonymous. Usually it's posted without anyone's name. It says, "You will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. True power is observing things with logic. True power is restraint. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you. Breathe. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you. Breathe and allow things to pass. Breathe and allow things to pass." There's a yogi, Isha Sadhguru, who said, "If someone else can decide what should happen within you right now, isn't this the ultimate slavery?" If someone else can decide what should happen within you right now, isn't this the ultimate slavery? What happens inside of you is your domain. What happens inside of you is your privilege to experience, your privilege to presence, your privilege to co-create. When someone else is determining what happens within you, you have exported your power. You have given away your keys. Our lives are ours. No one else deserves to have a voice in the inner temple. But that takes building up spiritual power. And that takes, like the quote said, sometimes restraint. Restraint even from reacting and even from opening the doors and letting things in. You know, this is the kickoff week of the season for nonviolence, which is marked by the lives of Gandhi and Martin Luther King every year. It is this period of acknowledging nonviolence, of acknowledging what's happening around us socially. And one key to the nonviolence movement is restraint, is spiritual power, is really having dominion within. Do we think Martin Luther King could have done what he did? Could he still be doing what he is doing right now if he was letting everything else in, if he had not built up an incredible reserve of power, saying that he will only receive his power from the unlimited source, from that which connects us, from that which binds us, saying that he would only see the good in people and he would harmonize the discord. He would harmonize the violence, harmonize the anger, harmonize the words. Darkness cannot drive away darkness, only light cannot do that. Hatred cannot drive out hatred, only love can do that. He stood in the midst of it. He even died by it, yes? But he raised the whole field of consciousness around how we show up. A lot of people think that when Rosa Parks sitting on the bus, getting up, sitting down, saying, "I won't get up," a lot of people think that all these activists that we have seen that made up the nonviolence movement, that reacted in a crowd, that walked across a bridge, that carried people through tunnels to freedom, that took action at decisive points, that they may have just moved in a moment and gone and done it. But it's well known in the nonviolence movement, it's well known that there were trainings, that people supported each other, getting strength, building up their consciousness, building up their minds so that they would know the moments to move forward, so they would know the moments to act, and they were ready for it. They were ready for it. It wasn't just a casual decision like, "Oh, yeah, I'm feeling tired today. I'm not going to get up and give you my seat because I just don't want to get up." No, it was like, I am born into this moment. This is the moment I stand in my power. This is the moment I use my power of consciousness, my power of restraint. I know what might be coming at me, and I move forward anyway. Our life is made up of moments, friends. What do we bring to the world? What do we bring to the experience of others? What do we bring to conversations? What do we bring to the people in our lives? In Unity, we teach we are God in expression. And the master teacher said, "This and more you shall do." It may be that was referring to more as in more things which leave a lot of us going, oh, really? How could I do more than Jesus, the master teacher? How could I do more than Gandhi? How could I do more than Martin Luther King? Maybe the idea of this and more you shall do has to do with the unique, unrepeatable pattern of God that is you. The more you will do is more because you are uniquely designed to be you and to bring it on as you. Namaste.
There's a fire burning in my heart tonight. It's a passion soaking in the soul of my life. Oh, if I can dream it, I can believe it. Oh, if I can see it, I can have it. Oh, if I can feel it, I can reveal it. Oh, and once it's there, I've got the map. Now I'm gonna drive. Oh, drive, drive. Oh, faith is soaring in my soul tonight. It's the power bringing forth the substance of my life. Oh, if I can dream it, I can believe it. Oh, if I can feel it, I can have it. Oh, if I can feel it, I can reveal it. Oh, and once it's there, I've got the map. Oh, and I'm gonna ride. Oh, ride, ride. Oh, love is singing in my heart tonight. Always the magnetizing, the radiating, harmonizing light. Oh, if I can dream it, you know I can't believe it. Oh, if I can see it, I can have it. Oh, if I can feel it, I can reveal it. Oh, and once it's there, I've got the map. Oh, and I'm gonna fly. Oh, fly. I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Nikki.